and welcome to my YouTube channel, and this flow is going to be all about honouring yourself and loving yourself during that premenstrual phase. So in the phase, it's the lead up towards the period, the autumn season, the season where the progesterone rises and the estrogen has dropped, and you're really feeling into that need to slow. The progesterone is the hormone that encourages us to slow down, encourages us as cyclical beings to go into ourselves and into our bodies. So my name is Naomi, and I'd love you to grab a mat, grab a bolster if you have one, otherwise a pillow, and find yourself back on the mat. Okay, wonderful one. It is time to find yourself here. And we're going to begin this flow by lying down on the mat. So finding yourself on the mat. And maybe this is the first time you found yourself slowing down. Maybe it's the first time you have had a lie down since you woke up. Maybe you have just woken up, but whatever feels good for you. So you could have your feet planted, I'm still coming over this sniffle. So your feet planted on the floor, or you could have your legs flat. So whatever works best for you. So finding yourself with your back rested on the floor and placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the womb. Breathing here. And just breathing down into the belly, exhaling onto the mat. And an audible exhale through the mouth. Dropping all parts of your body. Even with a sigh, just feels so good to surrender. And I want you to feel the arms of Mother Earth below you. So the arms of her holding you, loving you and supporting you at this time. And you're going to take this deeper now. So you're going to bring in some love, because when we're in this premenstrual phase, it's about bringing in a little bit more love and support for ourselves. Honouring our needs even further. So you're going to find yourself breathing in through the heart space, down into the belly and then into the womb, exhaling deeper into the mat. Just tuning into your womb space, bringing in some love from the heart down into the womb, and tuning into the womb today. What does she need? How is she feeling? Is she feeling creative? Because this can often be the case in the premenstrual phase. Is she feeling tired? Is she feeling sociable, like she wants to be out with people, introverted, feeling like she needs some love, like just what is it that's coming for you? And whatever arises is exactly what is meant. So don't overly question what comes up for you, just allowing that to flow. Okay. You can keep your eyes closed, like we're going to just begin to bring in some movement, lifting the arms overhead, maybe interlacing the fingers, maybe pushing them back, pushing down with the toes, stretching down on the toes as well, pointing the toes. Full body stretch, inhaling, expand, exhaling, letting go. And one more time, inhaling, stretching, exhaling, letting go. And just feeling that expansion there. Resting the hands back down, maybe they're resting back on the mat, maybe they're resting on the heart, maybe they're resting on the womb. Keeping the eyes closed. And if you haven't got your knees up, then you're going to bring your feet planted onto the mat here. And you're going to find yourself stretching the back, the spine now. So bringing the knees to the right hand side, flopping them over, moving the left arm to be outside from your body, and then looking over the left hand, the left fingers, while stretching into the spine here, into the right-handed twist, where the knees are flopped to the right, the arm is outstretched to the left, looking over those fingers, breathing in for expansion, exhaling to deepen in to the twist. Keeping the eyes closed, keeping breathing into the heart space, into the womb space. Inhaling, coming back into the center with the knees, bringing the arm back to the side of the body, and then allowing the knees to flop, move, roll onto the left, stretching the right arm out, look over those fingers, breathing into the expansion, exhaling, deepening into the twist, knowing that this could feel different on this side to the other. Maybe you need to bring your knees in further, higher up. Maybe you need to bring them further down. Wherever feels comfortable for you. There's no certificates for the deepest stretch here. Maybe you feel cool to use your left hand to deepen into the stretch by pushing down onto the knees, but just a gentle push. Nothing that your body isn't ready for. Breathing, expanding and stretching deeper here. Breathing into the heart space, and into the womb space. And then inhaling, coming back into the center, popping the feet down onto the mat again. And this time, You're going to find yourself curling in the tailbone. It's a really small movement that you could hardly see somebody doing. So it's almost like the tailbone's curling under. You know, like if a dog was nervous, you'd be like curling up the tailbone. And then you're going to be releasing the tailbone, and then you're going to be pushing it right down and back, so like a stretch in the back. So inhaling, curling it under. Exhaling, stretching it back. Inhaling, curling it under. Exhaling, curling it back. Inhaling. Exhaling. And just pausing there. And we're going to find ourselves rolling on to the right or the left, and we're going to be coming up and into tabletop position. Hands underneath the knees. I'm going to be removing my glasses. And we're going to cat-cow here, inhaling cat-cow. Exhaling, rolling down. Inhaling cat-cow. Expanding. Bringing it in. Keeping the knees under the shoulders, adjusting as you need. Hands underneath, knees underneath the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders. Now you're just going to move as you need to move, so stretching it out however you need to move here. Feeling in, there's no right or wrong, feeling into the shoulders, feeling into the base of the spine, feeling into all of you and all of the back here. Just like allowing yourself to do what you need to do, which is exactly what we should be doing when we're in our PMS feels that might come to us. And it isn't normal to have PMS feels. This isn't a normal thing. Everyone says that it is, but society has just deemed it as normal. And also, if somebody's come off the pill and on any hormonal contraceptives and they're feeling these ebbs and flows, it can feel like a lot. And actually, there's so much keeping with this movement and stretching. There's so much that can be said for what PMS is teaching us and how this comes up. And I used to have PMS so awfully. My moods, I'm really sensitive to my moods. I'm an empath. I've had my human design reading. I know that I really pick up on other people's energies. And if I'm struggling with my own and I'm depleted, then this isn't going to help. So I really know that I really feel into the ebbs and flows of my moods and everyone else's around me. And so PMS was a real thing for me. And then what I realized was, just stretching however you need, that actually I just wasn't meeting my own needs. And now I rarely have PMS. I actually find autumn one of my favorite seasons of my cycle. And I also know that if I do feel a bit PMSy, I'll know exactly why. I'll be able to pinpoint why. So I'm always a message away if anyone needs any further help with this. But just stretching in and then finding yourself back into the center. We're going to now reach up our hands, reach up our right arm. Inhale, exhale, threading it down and coming down with the ear onto the mat, stretching the left arm out in front of us. We're going to be allowing ourselves this deep stretch into the back. Maybe you find yourself with your knees wider in order to find the stretch. Maybe you can come back a bit further as if your bottom is moving down into the mat, but just essentially just finding yourself in a really comfortable position here, because we're just going to sit here or lie here or be stretching here for a little moment. Breathing in, exhaling down. Keeping this really slow flow today. Sometimes it's harder for us to hold these positions than it is for us to move, and that's why mostly my yoga flows are really slow, really nourishing, because I'm really encouraging people to slow and breathe into their bodies. I really work on bringing people into their bodies, because many of us disassociate from our bodies for so many reasons: wounding, traumas, stresses, just avoiding the feelings. And that's the opposite of what my work is about, and it's sometimes really hard. So just honouring yourself for this slower pace. Inhaling, coming out. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up the left arm, reaching, stretching, and threading down underneath, pushing it out, allowing that right arm to come above your head here. Feeling into where the knees need to be placed, where the buttock needs to be placed, allowing yourself to stretch into the back, feeling into the spine. Ears dropping away from the shoulders, or the shoulders dropping away from the ears, stretching out the back of the neck. Inhaling. Exhaling. Sinking deeper. Inhaling to expand, exhaling to sink deeper, and this can feel different to the other side, so just honouring what it is that feels different for you. Eyes might be closed. And coming out, inhaling to come out. Okay, we are going to find ourselves with our toes curled under here, and we're going to sit back on our feet, and we're going to keep our back, our spine straight, lifted crown. And this can be a really intense pose, but what it's doing is really like opening into the feet, and I feel like the feet are really important for us as cyclical beings, because what we're doing is we're like allowing the feet to feel and touch in to Mother Earth. And so a really beautiful deep stretch of all the toes, feeling all the toes, the little pinky toe right up until the big toe, firmly planted on the floor here, stretching in. And this can feel too uncomfortable for so many people. So if this is too much for you, then just come back out of it, or just relax back out of it for a moment, because your bottom is resting really there. But if you're comfortable enough, then just keeping the shoulders away from the ears, the back straight, crown lifted, inhaling, exhaling, creating space, inhaling, exhaling, creating space. And on the next exhale, you'll find yourself coming out, gently resting them back on the mat, and finding yourself into seated position. Crossing the legs here, Just finding yourself spine stretched, eyes gently closed, spine stretched, crown lifted, shoulders away from the ears. Tuning into your body. And we're going to bring in a Kriya for happiness. So in your own time, you can open your eyes, and you're going to be doing this mudra here, this position, and it's going to be your first finger and your thumb come together. And they're going to be rested on the knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale 10 inhales, and after a while you'll lose count, but you'll get into the groove of how many you're doing. So inhaling, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Covering the eyes with the fingers pointing up, coming into lotus position. Exhaling, coming down the center of the body, and then coming back into that mudra position. So we're going to be doing that for about a minute to 3 minutes is what we're going to be doing this for. And I need to find myself a timer for 3 minutes. So while you're sitting there for 1 second, going to get myself a timer. Okay, so in your own time, 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're inhaling that many. Exhaling into lotus position down the center. Coming back into that mudra. Holding the breath, exhaling down into the mudra. Just keeping going with this, inhaling 10. Holding over your eyes, holding the breath, exhaling down into the mudra. keeping going. You're doing an amazing job. In your own time. There's no rush. Just 30 more seconds. And pausing there. Keeping the eyes closed and feeling into the body, spine straight. Feeling how you've been left feeling. So that's a kriya for happiness, and kriyas bring in the mudras, the breath, mantras. For a purpose, and so that purpose was to bring in happiness, which we all deserve at any point, but especially if we're feeling a little bit temperamental during that autumn phase. And when you're ready, we're going to find ourselves again, just one last time with the eyes open, in order to grab yourself your bolster if you have it, or your pillow if you have it. And I just want you to honor yourself just for the final part of this flow. And you can do this whichever way feels best for you. So you can find yourself leaning over onto the bolster. So finding yourself with knees either side, pushing it through the knees and just resting down. Finding yourself rested here. And then sitting right back and just lying here with your eyes closed. And you're going to be lying here for as long as you need. So when the video stops, you can be lying here for as long as you need, feeling into all those feels that might be arising for you. Or you can do this as a heart opener. This is where you sit back with your buttocks towards the bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, it doesn't matter. You can use cushions, pile up the cushions either way. And this can be quite intense. So you're going to find yourself stretching back onto the bolster. And you can find yourself, if you want, butterflying your legs out so you can really feel into the yoni here. Or you can find yourself with your buttocks straight back onto the mat and then stretching out. So they might be slightly lifted up here and be rested on the bolster here so that they're off, and then you're really feeling like an intense stretch. Or it may be that you just want to keep your legs straight here, and that's like super intense. Or you can butterfly your legs, cross your legs. Honestly, there's no right or wrong. And then just really feeling into wherever feels comfortable for you. Because you just want to be here for a moment. It's like opening the heart, it's opening the chest, it's opening the throat. It's opening like the throat chakra to speak for what you need. Allowing the arms, or you could bring them into the womb and the heart space. Breathing here, eyes closed, getting yourself comfortable in whatever position feels good for you. Breathing in through the heart space, into the womb space. And in your own time, you can just lie here for as long as you need. I'm gonna come out of this and end the recording, end the class, end the flow. But you can just stay here and move out in your own time. And when you do move out, inhaling, gently coming out of this. You may find yourself at the end, if you've opened up your heart, you may find yourself coming into a stretched out child's pose. Just as a counter pose to the deeper stretch in the back. So you could do that when you feel ready. There's no rush. If you're joining me to finish, then that's fine. But if you're staying there, then that's great. Honouring you, beautiful being, in your autumn phase. The phase to pull back. The phase to go in. The phase to wrap up anything you want to wrap up. Maybe you're feeling super creative. I know I do in my autumn. Just honouring wherever you're at. And knowing that your autumn phase is not the same as anybody else's. Loving you, wonderful one. Loving you. Namaste.